Have you ever felt alone, like you didn't belong anywhere? Maybe you felt misunderstood, even by your own family. I want to share a story with you, a story that changed my life, and I pray it might touch yours too. It's about a young woman I knew named Sarah. Sarah grew up in a home that was perfect on the outside, but inside it was cold. Her parents provided for her every need, but they were emotionally distant. They had expectations, a prestigious career, a certain kind of life that just didn't feel like asterisk or asterisk. She tried so hard to fit into their mold, to earn their approval, to feel their love, but no matter what she did, it was never enough. She felt like an outsider in her own home, a stranger to her own family. One day, after a particularly painful argument with her father, she left the house, tears streaming down her face. She walked for hours, with no destination in mind, her heart heavy with a loneliness so deep it physically hurt. She ended up sitting on a bench in a quiet little park she'd never been to before. An elderly woman was sitting at the other end reading a small, worn book. The woman looked up, her eyes kind and gentle, and simply said, "Are you all right, dear?" That simple question, filled with genuine concern, broke down all of Sarah's walls. She poured out her heart, the years of feeling invisible, the ache of not belonging, the deep sense of being utterly alone. The woman listened patiently, without judgment. When Sarah finished, the woman didn't offer easy advice. Instead, she opened her book and said, "Let me read you something that brought me comfort when I felt lost just like you." She read from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 12. She read about a time when Jesus was teaching a crowd, and someone told him, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside, wanting to speak to you." Can you imagine that moment? His earthly family, the people who knew him from birth, were there. The normal, expected thing would be to stop everything and go to them. But Jesus did something profound, something that must have startled everyone there. He replied, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" Then, stretching out his hand toward his disciples, the ordinary fisherman, the tax collector, the followers who had left everything to be with him, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." When the elderly woman finished reading, Sarah was silent. The words sank into her wounded soul like a healing balm. Jesus wasn't disrespecting his earthly family. He was revealing a deeper, more powerful truth. He was redefining what family truly means. He was saying that the strongest bonds aren't always made of blood. The truest family, the family of God, is forged through something else entirely, doing the will of the Father. Think about that. Biological ties are a gift, but Jesus showed us that spiritual connection, a shared commitment to God, creates a family that is even deeper. It's even more eternal. He looked at his disciples, the people who were learning from him, following him, and struggling alongside him, and he called them his family. He was showing them, and us, that discipleship isn't just a student-teacher relationship. It's a family bond. This was a radical idea then, and it's just as radical today. In a world that often defines us by our lineage, our last name, our earthly connections, Jesus presents a new identity. Our true identity is found in our relationship with God. Sarah began to understand. All her life, she had been trying to earn her place in a family based on performance and expectations. But Jesus was offering her a place in a family based on grace and obedience. He was saying that the door to his family, the family of God, is open. It's not exclusive. It doesn't depend on your background, your achievements, or who your parents are. The only entrance requirement is a heart that says, "Yes, Lord, I want to do your will." It's about aligning our lives with God's heart. It's about choosing to follow him, even when it's hard, even when we don't understand. Faith isn't just believing certain facts about God. It's a living, breathing obedience that flows from a heart of love. That day in the park was a turning point for Sarah. The elderly woman invited her to her small church group. Hesitantly, Sarah went. And for the first time, she felt like she was home. She found a group of people from all walks of life, some old, some young, some wealthy, some poor, who were united by one thing: their love for God and their desire to follow his will. They weren't perfect. They were messy and flawed, just like her, but they loved each other. They supported each other. They prayed for each other. When Sarah was struggling, they were there. When she celebrated a small victory, they celebrated with her. They saw her, truly saw her, not for what she could do for them, but for who she was in Christ. They became her brothers, her sisters, her mothers, and fathers in the faith. She had found her true family. This passage from Matthew isn't just a historical account. It's a personal invitation from Jesus to you and to me. It's a call to commitment. He is asking us, who will you prioritize? Whose will are you living for? He's challenging us to move our spiritual relationship with Him from the outer court of our lives to the very center. He wants to be more than just a part of our Sunday routine. He wants to be our brother, our closest confidant, the one who defines our very identity. So if you're listening to this today and you feel like Sarah alone, misunderstood, searching for a place to belong, I want you to hear Jesus' words speaking directly to your heart. He is looking at you right now with a love that surpasses all human understanding, and He is saying, you can be part of my family. You belong with me. The path to joining this family is simple. Do the will of my Father in heaven. It starts with surrendering your life to Him, trusting that His plan is better than your own, and stepping out in faith to follow His commands, which are all rooted in love. You are not an orphan. You are not an outsider. Through Jesus, you are invited into the most loving, most secure, most eternal family in the universe. A family where you are cherished, valued, and loved, not for what you do, but for whose you are. You are a beloved child of God. If this message has touched your heart today, I encourage you to share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you want to explore more about what it means to be part of God's family, please subscribe to our channel. We're all on this journey together. Thank you for listening.